Hi again, everybody. In this video, what can we do to get a lottery pick for next season in the lottery? Coming up. Guys, I've come up with a million ideas, okay? And I've noticed I came up with this idea about a week ago, and I'm starting to see videos out there. So no, I didn't get this idea from any video except in here. I've been thinking about this since from the moment. You want the truth, guys? This idea for a video came into my head the minute they flipped the Sabres card and it was Buffalo and number 9. I'm thinking, okay, what can we do now to try and get a realistic shot? And I'm talking a realistic shot at Connor Bedard next draft, because this is the prodigy that's coming up. Please don't tell me that Shane Wright is as good as Connor Bedard, guys. I've had these arguments with people about Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid before they were drafted. I had the same arguments. No. One's a good player, one's a prodigy. There's a difference. Connor Bedard's going to have 10 times better career than Shane Wright. I mean, Shane Wright's going to have a good career most likely if he's healthy, but I already don't like the kid's attitude, to be honest. Really. If he falls from number 1 in the draft, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. He might. He just might. Don't be surprised if the Habs do trade him. I'm hearing it all over town. They're thinking of moving Shane Wright. Don't be surprised, really. I think they have their eyes on Cooley, to be honest, out here. This is my gut feeling. I don't have any proof or anything to substantiate that, but words in the air, and that's how it is out here in this city, guys. Words in the air. When words in the air, it usually comes to truth eventually. Look, when it comes to next year, though, Connor Bedard's a runaway. He's a runaway. He's going to be the biggest runaway since Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid, anybody that thought Jack Eichel was going to be picked before Connor McDavid needs their head examined. Really, okay? I mean, everybody knew that Connor McDavid was the stud since he was like 12 out here. I followed this kid from like when he was 13 on out here. And I heard about Jack Eichel. I heard few things about him. Didn't know much about him. But when they're out here and they're playing junior hockey, they're forefront for us out here. We know what's happening with them. Behind the scenes, we know if they're using drugs. We know everything. We get the word out here. So what about Connor Bedard? What can we do to get him? We're going to talk about that in a sec, but I want to show you something I came up with here, because this could come into play. Don't think that general managers don't have egos. And keep in mind, this is Arizona we're talking. We got to make a deal with Arizona somehow. And I'm thinking along the lines, number 16, the number 28 pick, unless Florida win the cup. I got them listed as 28. So 16, 28, the two drafts we got, okay, in the trades. And I'm thinking if we can throw those two at them and maybe a Ryan Johnson added in, that might do the trick. It might, because we're giving them a high end, we're giving them 3 first rounders really, and one of them is developing, or developed/developing, you know what I mean? Let's take a look at this. I'll explain that in a sec. Now, most first rounders drafted in the first round by teams historically. I wanted to mark this down because I think this could come into play if you're Arizona and you want to make a splash to your fans. Because don't forget, guys, they got to get back the fan base somehow. Somehow, some way, they got to win that fan base back. They can't just go and draft. And they've got to, this off-season, remember, I know that they're going into a smaller building, but they're going to want to pump up the prices and the marketing of jerseys. They got to do something to save their franchise. And this is the year they have to do it. So there might be pressure this year, and they got tons of picks. Don't get me wrong. They got 3 already. What if we can give them more, though, this year? 1970 Bruins had 4 first rounders. The 72 Habs had 4 first rounders. The 1998 Avalanche had 4 first rounders. And the 1999 Islanders had 4 first rounders also. Topping it off, though, at number 1, Montreal Canadiens of 1974, 5 first rounders, which I believe 2 of them were pretty dumb picks. I think Cam Connor was one, and can't remember the other one. There was another one there that was, So Montreal had 5 first rounders, though, before their dynasty. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking to myself, what if we can plant the seed in the head, because I'm sure Adams could throw something like this. You give them a call and you say to Arizona, listen, you guys could be the second team in NHL history to have 5 first-rounders in the draft. That's a sales point, right? Because you got to keep in mind, it's not just about them and their draft picks. Arizona, it's not. It's also about saving the franchise right now. There's no time. You get it? There's no time out in Arizona. Time is running out. They need to do something to win the fans back. And a big splash would be 5 first-rounders. I mean, it would be their draft, officially. It really would be. Now, Montreal, this is what I think Montreal is targeting, and I believe Montreal, their spider senses have come up, and their radar's on Arizona for a reason, because they want to get that pick for next year, right? They want to get that pick. But Arizona's going to want some ready talent too. They're not just going to want to get, like Montreal, if they'd have to give more than just the number 1 pick, I think, to get their number 1 pick next year. I think. Instead of Shane Wright, you give me a top 5 pick of next year, Shane Wright is traded. Honestly, this is how I feel about Shane Wright, guys. Honestly, I'm not sold on Shane Wright at all. Even when I checked his videos out, I was like, yeah, he looks good. There's nothing outstanding about his numbers. There isn't. And like Lafreniere was heads way above Shane Wright, I thought. So, because Lafreniere brings that physical aspect too. And he's a big guy. So Shane Wright, I don't know. I mean, Montreal, if they're willing to move him, they're probably going to want the number 3 pick and their pick next year, which Arizona will be out of their skull if they did this, out of their mind. They shouldn't even do it. Straight up, I could see them doing it because there's the splash. They get the number 1 pick also, right? And they can claim to fame with these teams here of having 4 first-rounders, because that's going to play into it, guys. The marketing, the public marketing that they can do with their fans, saying, hey, look all the drafts we got, though. This is the year that we rebuild officially, for real, with all these draft picks. What do you think? Do we trade number 16, number 28, a Ryan Johnson, to get a top 5 pick for next year and get a shot at Connor Bedard? Because I would, guys. I don't think Ryan Johnson's in our plans. I'm starting to think, with all the defensemen we have, he might not be in our plans. He just might not be. And if he's not, we got to move him, because he's going to go UFA on us. If management knows he might not be in our plans, he knows. It's just a quiet thing that's happening, and they got to move him. So we send the rights to Ryan Johnson over there, the number 16 to number 28, and maybe toss in even a roster player now, whether it be an Asplund, whatever. We make a splash and we get their pick for next year. Because I'm guessing it'll be a top 6. I think that's fair to say. It'll be a top 6 pick next year. But I want a shot at Connor Bedard, is the whole purpose of this video and me showing all this stuff here. We need to get a shot at this kid next year. I don't know how we're going to manage it. We're not going to tank. That's out of the question. So get that thinking out of your head. Tank conspiracy people, please. The door's over there. Go, leave. No, we're not going to do a tank. It's not happening. It's not happening. This year, I had people tell me early in the season, Wayne, we're tanking. It's like, where do these people come with this? No, we're not going to tank, guys. Players don't tank. Players don't tank. Management tanks. Do you think Kevin Adams is going to try to lose on purpose, any of you? No, I didn't think so. We got to somehow have a smart enough GM to get us in the hunt for this next year, okay? Yes, there's all sorts of things. We need the goalie, the offseason. We got to look at a potential right-side defenseman, all that stuff. I do get that, okay? If we don't get a right-side defenseman, big deal. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. And yes, I'm going to come out with that video soon there about some guys playing the right side that are left-handed that all of you know are stars in the league, So no, right side defenseman is not vital like people think. It's not. That's not what this video is about. It's about getting a shot at this prodigy next year called Connor Bedard. And if the Sabres can somehow land a shot, just a shot, if we can get a top 5 shot at him next year, I'll be thrilled. I'll be so excited next season. Really. But our best shot of getting that kind of shot really is Arizona. Arizona. Because I can't think of anybody that's guaranteed to bomb out next year like that. That was there this year. Jersey could improve. Detroit could improve, right? All these teams could improve next year. I think Arizona's in that situation where it's pretty sure they're going to be a bottom 6 team next year. And this is just what I'm thinking, guys. This would be the selling point right here. This. Would tell them, listen, you can be the second team in NHL history to have 5 first rounders. Sell that to your fans. And we're going to give you a good young stud defenseman on top of it. You know, this is my way of thinking anyway. Yeah, I'm crazy. But hey, that's what all my exes say anyway. So it's the way it is. All right, that's it, guys. I got to get these up to you. I'll see you later on tonight.